Either you do CrossFit or maybe you're a little bit interested in CrossFit. Maybe you're curious to learn more. In this episode of the podcast, we're going to clue you in and reveal 5 more famous people who also do CrossFit, talk a little bit about their favorite exercises, and tell you what got them started doing CrossFit in the first place. So tune in and take notes.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
Well, in this second episode of the series, we're going to talk about 5 famous people who do CrossFit. In the first episode, we talked about how Henry Cavill, Jessica Biel, Jason Khalifa, Mallory Hagan, and other stars use CrossFit to help them achieve and live their best lives. In this second episode of the series, we reveal 5 more people, famous CrossFitters you may have heard of or have seen on the silver screen. So let's get right into it. Number 1 is Max Greenfield. If you ever watched the television show New Girl, Max Greenfield is famous for playing the role of Schmidt on that show. And on that show, he's kind of like one of the heartthrob characters. And he has to stay in really top tier shape because he has his shirt off often on that show. He is a dedicated, religious fan of CrossFit, doing 4 or 5 CrossFit WODs a week. Especially loves toes to bar, which if you know anything about toes to bar, it's a hell of an abs exercise. No coincidence, somebody with a shredded midsection, 6-pack abs like Max would be a big fan of toes to bar, as well as double unders. He also is regularly a part of the CrossFit Open, and if you join us here at CrossFit Edwardsville to come do the CrossFit Open with us, you can actually compete against Max in the CrossFit Open. So that's a fun additional benefit to being a part of our community. Max Greenfield, number 1. Let's go to number 2, our second celebrity CrossFitter, Bob Harper, most famously known for being one of the coaches on The Biggest Loser, opposite the very controversial, what is her name? It'll come back to me later. But anyway, so I remember still when Bob Harper found out about CrossFit, maybe a little over a decade ago, because his introduction to CrossFit when he became one of us and started using CrossFit to help people on The Biggest Loser to cut body fat, it was a really big splash in CrossFit world, and very, very exciting to have Bob Harper on our team. He's still to this day a very big fan of CrossFit, and his favorite way of working out is still CrossFit. Interestingly, he is a great example of somebody who continues to CrossFit after a significant issue. So very famously, he's an extremely healthy person. He had a heart attack some years ago. And what's interesting is that he slowly reintroduced himself to CrossFit after the heart attack and uses it now to help mitigate and rebuild his physical self after that. So really, really interesting guy. Bob Harper is number 2 on our list. Number 3, Vanessa Hudgens. If you've been following pop culture, Vanessa Hudgens was first a Disney Channel star and then eventually transitioned her way into Hollywood and becoming, I believe, not just a famous actress, but also a famous singer. She happens to be a CrossFitter as well. She really loves kettlebell swings, push presses, goblet squats, deadlifts. She has a recorded deadlift max of 180 pounds as well. And she uses CrossFit to stay in shape for her various screen roles and filming opportunities. Number 3 on our list today of famous CrossFitters, Vanessa Hudgens. Number 4, let's go to Josh Holloway. Now, you may not recognize the name Josh Holloway right off the bat, but if you ever watched the television show Lost, I bet you remember Sawyer on that show. Sawyer was the bad boy. He was one of the guys, if you're never really sure if he's a villain or a hero, he was one of the most popular characters on the television show Lost. really cool, really interesting character. Josh Holloway is the guy who played Sawyer on that show, and he absolutely loves doing CrossFit as well. He's been an athlete since he was little. He's known not just to do CrossFit, but also to play basketball. He uses CrossFit as a core strength and conditioning program to stay in elite peak shape, which if you've seen Lost, you've seen him with his shirt off, you know the guy is in incredible shape. Number 4 on our list is Josh Holloway. Running on our top 5 for today, forgive me if I'm not saying this name right, Joe Manganiello. I believe that's how it's said, Joe Manganiello. How do you know him? Well, first off, have you ever watched the television show Modern Family? Gloria, the very famous actress and what's the word I'm looking for? Very famous personality, Gloria, played by Sofia Vergara. Joe Manganiello is her husband, and he's a famous actor from the movie Magic Mike, and he loves doing CrossFit. He goes to CrossFit regularly for training and as a way in staying in elite condition. Interestingly, he doesn't say that he does CrossFit for the physique changes, the body changes, but just because of the practical, functional fitness that it gives him to go out and live his best life. He's also expressed interest in potentially competing at the CrossFit Games one day. And if he does, we wish him the absolute best. Look forward to seeing him out there on the competition floor. Number 5 on our list is Joe Manganiello. So to recap, 5 more famous people who do CrossFit. Number 1, Max Greenfield, the actor. Number 2, Bob Harper, the fitness celebrity and famous fitness coach. Number 3, the singer and actress Vanessa Hudgens. Number 4, Josh Holloway, famous actor on the TV show Lost. And number 5, Joe Manganiello, who we just discussed. These are 5 more famous people that do CrossFit. Now, you might be interested in learning more about CrossFit. And if you are, you can find out more about us here at CrossFit Edwardsville by going to all the socials, our Facebook, our Instagram. Find us at CrossFit Edwardsville. When you're ready, you can go to CrossFitEdwardsville.com, book a no-sweat conversation with a coach. It's free. Just talk to a coach here about what your unique fitness journey looks like. We look forward to talking to you and meeting you and learning about your story and what you want to get out of all of this. For now, we thank you guys for the gift of your time and your attention. Feel free to share this podcast, somebody who might be interested in CrossFit as well, or who happens to be a fan of one of these celebrities. Feel free to share the podcast. Leave us a comment below. We'd love to hear from you guys. We will engage with you in the comments below. And for now, we'll see you guys in the next episode of the podcast. Peace.